Hey everybody, it's Katie from Ray & Company Face Painting and Body Art, and in this video we're going to do a basic butterfly. This is for those of you who have basic supplies or are just getting started. And so this is an on-the-job butterfly that we'll be doing primarily for those of you who are volunteering or doing contract gigs where you might be working in a free to the public event and have long lines. So not to the events necessarily where you're going to be charging per face, although you could certainly charge for this face and embellish it and do all those things to do that. So anyway, let's get started. The supplies that I'm using today are my tag regular white and my tag regular black. Those are great line work, a great brand for line work. I've got a cheap mister bottle here from the drugstore. You can pick up a couple of these and have them in your kit in case they break. I like these teardrop sponges and these half round sponges. They're the two that I use the most. So we'll probably be using that teardrop sponge. And we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, for paints, I am using a basic 12 color palette. So if you are interested in building your own face painting kit, I do have a buyer's guide available where it's how to build your first face painting starter kit. And so today we're going to be using basically a 12 color super basic palette. And this guide basically just goes through my journey of how I advanced from that to sort of a bigger, more complex kit. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. And it has brands and supplier recommendations and all that kind of stuff, mainly for the folks in the US. Also, I have some iridescent cosmetic glitter. I won't be using it on the board today, but obviously if you can get some cosmetic holographic glitter, that always makes a design pop. All right, so let's get started. We are going to work on, I'm going to activate some purple and pink off camera here, and I'm just spritzing it with my mister bottle, giving my paints a little bit of a spritz. And so I've loaded up my teardrop sponge where there's light purple on the tip and the pink on the top. Now this is a little bit more of a hot pink than you might get with the starter kit, but it'll do the same thing. Okay, so my focal point is right here. So I want my design to be kind of heading in that direction. Obviously, I would be having the kiddo close their eyes at this point. And for me, the trick with butterflies is not going too big. I think it's easy to end up going too big with the butterfly wings. And it's personal preference, really, but I prefer to do it a little bit on the smaller side. My paint is a little bit dry, so for the bottom wing, I kind of like to pinch my sponge and just use like the side of it right here to do the bottom wings, because I like them to be just a little bit smaller. So there we go. Let's see if we can get the same thing going on the other side. And if you're just starting out, don't worry too much about, messing up. Baby wipes are awesome. They're an awesome way to sort of erase mistakes or whatever. So you can see that this side is a little bit crazy, but no biggie. I'm going to grab a baby wipe because I'm going to have to do that anyway. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up my eye area here. So that you guys can see the eyes. And I'm going to go ahead and just correct this wing a little bit, make it a little bit smaller. Now, would I spend the time to do that on the job? Probably not. It really just depends on how much it bothers me, really, because the kids are super forgiving. They really, they don't pick up on that stuff too much. So, okay, so for the For the wings, what we're going to do is we're going to do some black. So I'm going to take my number 4 round brush. I have it wet. I'm going to activate my paint here. And I'm going to make a big long teardrop heading towards that focal point. So I'm just going to lay my brush down, drag it and lift up as I drag. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. Okay. And I'm at a little bit of an awkward angle here because of the camera setup, but we're just going to work with it. I'm going to go over this again and fix it a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we are going to go, we're going to kind of start at the tip of this, and we're going to go down and over and make a line sort of perpendicular to this. So we'll do it again on this side. So we're going to go down and over and end perpendicular to the other line. The next one we're going to do is just a teardrop. I'm going to lay my brush down, drag it, lift up as I go. I should also mention that these brushes are quite well loved, so they're not giving me the nice fine point that I usually like. But I wanted to use the brushes that come in that collection so that you guys would have a frame of reference for that. So now we're going to do basically a smaller version of this sort of brush stroke style. So we're going to do a teardrop, and then we're just going to go around and in. We're going to do a teardrop, short teardrop, and we're going to go around and in. It just gives it a little bit of a variety. And then we have room to do maybe 1 or 2 more little baby teardrops. Okay, so for the bottom wings, I like to keep it, and I'll zoom in here, sorry about that guys. I like to keep it pretty simple on the bottom. I don't like to go too fancy with that. But let's see. I kind of like to do a teardrop like this. And then I like to do this really fine little line coming off of it, like a wispy little line. And then the other ones are just going to be a couple teardrops like this. Okay, so while we have our blackout, we'll go ahead and make a butterfly body. Now you can do a butterfly body lots of different ways, but since this is a beginner tutorial, we'll just do a simple teardrop body. You could do dots. You could do a flower in the middle as a butterfly body with the petal brush. There's really lots of different ways. Now, you can either do some sort of a curly Q antenna, or if you're not comfortable doing swirls, you can just do teardrops here as well. And you can do like little squiggly ones. So you can go like this, and then swiggle it, and swiggle it in. If you do want to do, swirls, the only thing to keep in mind when you do those, I'm going to go ahead and grab my number 1, although it is a little bit frayed. I'm going to grab my number 1, let's see if it'll cooperate with me. And you want to, when you're doing swirls, try to keep your brush as perpendicular to your surface as possible. So we'll try to just go around. We'll go around that guy so I don't reactivate it. and do something like that. It's hard to tell because of the to the light, but when you do swirls, you just want to use the tip of your brush, and you can use your pinky as a guideline as well. So, all right, this guy is almost done. So you could stop here really and put some glitter on here. And actually, a good time to put the glitter on is right after you have that pink and purple laid down while it's still wet. That is a great time to put glitter on so that it sticks to the paint. And then I'm just going to activate some yellow. And we're going to do just some yellow, bright yellow dots, which I think look pretty on pink and purple. And so we'll just do a big one and a couple small ones, and another big one and a couple small ones. Maybe a couple in here. And I think, let's make those a little brighter. And then a nice big one down here and a nice big one down here. So there you go. This is a great on-the-job butterfly that you can use for free to the public events. And we did everything with super basic paints. And you can just iterate off of this. You can make it fancier. You can try different brush strokes to do those wings. But I think the main thing that I would say to keep in mind is just keeping those wings relatively small on the top and certainly on the bottom. So I have seen some really cute butterfly wings too that just kind of go right, they're just like wispy little things right by the eyes. That's real pretty too. So don't feel like you have to have a color block. Down here you could literally move a couple of these little teardrops just up to the corners of the eyes and have them come down and do something like that. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. If you are looking for supplies, head over to rayfaceart.com/learn and you will find that buyer's guide, and I will see you next time.